Sofia, Bulgaria, an ancient city in the heart of the Balkan Peninsula. Once removed from the cultural and economic mainstream, and after a century of Ottoman, fascist, and communist rule, is now finding its place in the new Europe. And so too is its young and vibrant Jewish community.
We're a small community, but we are very dynamic, we are growing. You're Jewish as much as you can.
I find it really easy being a Jew in Bulgaria. I've always felt proud.
What helps the developing of the community is Jewish education, working with young leadership, developing the future of this community. I can say that here we have a great example for a partnership between the joint and the Jewish community in Bulgaria.
And what is happening today is maybe one of the most impressive events in our contemporary Jewish history. The revival of Jewish life in Eastern Europe after the communism.
For centuries, a crossroads of religions and cultures living side by side, here a Jewish community has existed for almost 2 millennia. Many can trace their ancestors to the exile from Spain in 1492 and the Great Sephardic influx. Bulgaria has been a friendly and hospitable country for Jews, a place of tolerance in an often hostile region, where Jewish life has flourished. During World War II, when the Jews of Europe were mass murdered in the Holocaust, Bulgaria had a different story. The fascist government, allied with Nazi Germany, had passed racial laws and issued orders for Jews to be deported to the concentration camps in Poland. But thanks to the quick and strong reaction of civic leaders, the church, and ordinary citizens, the deportations were prevented, saving the lives of over 50,000 Jews.
It was really a miracle when the Bulgarian people went out on the streets to demonstrate against the deportation of the Bulgarian Jews.
However, the Bulgarian story was not entirely heroic.
At the same time, the Jews from Macedonia and northern Greece, 11,343 Jews, were deported.
After World War II and the onset of communism, most of the Bulgarian Jews left for Israel. But a small number remained, subdued by the communist regimes and with little contact with the diaspora or Israel. There was little holding the community together.
This synagogue for almost 5 decades was practically not working. During the communism, Judaism was not surviving in terms of their Jewish identity. It was in 1990 when the Jewish communal life was re-established.
The restoration of Jewish life was nurtured by the Joint Distribution Committee.
When the JDC was able to re-enter, the thought was, how do we affect the largest number of Jews? How can we reach out to them by supplying Jewish materials and providing programs that help bring Jewish community together? We were able to again find Jews and reestablish communities.
I'm from the generation of people who grow up with the Jewish community because I'm born in 1991 when the communism already fell.
Let's say one of the biggest events that we do, Limud Keshet, has been growing on from 300 people to 700 people.
There is today a Jewish school, a Jewish community center, and summer programs for youth.
Our community is very small, but then you can see it growing because there are a lot of people who turn back to their Jewish roots. My parents, they joined the community because I did.
One such activity, Limud Keshet, brings Jewish youth together from all over Eastern Europe.
There we meet with Jewish kids our age all around Europe, and you make connections. After this, you chat through Facebook, you write emails.
It's funny because they don't know anything about it. They don't know about Jewish culture, about Jewish holidays, and my mom really wants to be part of our lives. So, she keeps on researching and doing stuff so she can be closer to us.
A very short and simple mission of the JDC: rescue, relief, renewal. But today, the mission of JDC is on the renewal part, to renew the leadership and to secure the future of this community.
The community center hosts several Jewish organizations, along with kosher facilities.
When we speak about Jewish life in Eastern Europe today, it is extremely important to emphasize the role of the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee, because 20 years ago we did not have any knowledge of what it is to be Jewish today.
Much of that life revolves around the Great Synagogue in Sofia. Built over 100 years ago, it is an architectural gem. It is one of the largest and best preserved Sephardic synagogues in Europe. Reviving Jewish life engages all generations. Manos Bendichas, Ladino for blessed hands, is both art therapy and continuing ancient Sephardic crafts, like embroidery and knitting kapot. So too is maintaining the Sephardic kitchen on Shabbat and the holidays. And of course music. A choir from the JDC Senior Citizens Home sings in Ladino, the language of Sephardic Jews for many centuries. Today, almost a lost art.
In just a short trip from the heart of Europe, one can revisit Jewish cultures that we thought were lost, but are still standing and that have a vibrant young Jewish community in them. They feel spirituality, and that's palpable, that's transmitted to all of us.
The future of the Bulgarian Jewish community is very positive. As you can see, the community today is flourishing, it's full of young people. Jewish life today is really a product of all the huge resources JDC has invested throughout the years and continue to invest in Bulgaria and Eastern Europe.